You guys know how it is. You gotta park away from the riffraff. Regular folk park over there. But yeah, this is how the Z's looking in the sun. Very nice. And this S3 is super sick. It just recently got a paint job. The paint like changes color or whatever. It's nice wheels too. Yeah, I'm feeling super tired. I don't really want to work out, but these are the days where you really have to do it. So pulled up to LA. Gonna hit chest real quick. Summit White SS with the red interior. You guys probably, oh, you can see it kind of. But yeah, red interior and automatic. Yikes. Still a super nice car though. Super nice. I remember those days. I'm gonna get back home and then we're gonna talk about everything that's wrong with this car. Because there's a couple things, but I forgot some of them. And I made a list, and it's at home. And my keys are in my jacket. All right, hold on. Okay, here we go. And yes, the exhaust is the first thing on the list because it smells like shit. Like, bro, don't get me wrong, the cam is sick, but I'm only gonna go quarter throttle and just listen to how loud this freaking car is, bro. Like, listen to it now. Disturbing the peace. But bro, I'm telling you, quarter throttle, peep. That was a little bit more than quarter throttle. But you know what I mean, that shit was loud as hell. This car is mad loud. This car is pretty much like open headers. I've been daily driving open headers for the past like 2 weeks. This shit is unbearable. My eardrums are killing me. All right, so I came back home, went inside, made a sandwich, and now we're back. So if you're new to the channel, this is my 2012 Camaro ZL1. New to me, but very much a used car. Whoever owned this car before I did definitely tried to make this thing some kind of track drag car, which is not what I'm gonna be using it for. Primarily, it's supposed to be a street daily driver. So I made a list about everything that is wrong with this car. And we're just gonna start with the list. I forgot what I wrote on it. I wrote this like 2 weeks ago. And I've been meaning to make this video since I bought the car. I briefly mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but number one on the list is the exhaust. So the car right now has catless headers and these center dumps. It sounds like a tractor. I really don't like it. So if we look under the driver's seat, the module that controls these dumps is McWeed's. Let me look at that. McWeed's exhaust, what does that say? Diverter systems. So if you look under the car, you can see the dumps right there. Right there. You can see the dumps. And if you look at it, that is pretty much right under the driver's seat. It is the most ridiculous system ever. So that's number one on the list, is the exhaust dumps. And what I'm doing to resolve that, I am taking this car to a shop. I'm getting the module, the wiring, and the dumps taken out. So very thankful about that, but I'll discuss that more in the next video. So number two is the reverse lights. So I knew this when I bought the car, and I didn't really care, but the reverse lights don't turn on. So I'm going to assume there's a connector back here that isn't plugged in. So I have a lot of work to do on the rear of the car, but the reverse lights don't turn on. And the backup camera, I'll show you guys that right now. Turn the car on. Yeah, you can hear how loud that is. But if I turn the car on and put it in reverse, this is what I get. The lines are there, but there's no picture. It's just black. So I have to get, actually I already ordered a new, let me turn that down. I already ordered a new reverse camera off of eBay, 60 bucks, super cheap. So that's nice. So that situation is pretty much already resolved. I will be working on the rear end of this car at some point. I have to do it either after work or on the weekend, because that's the only time I have to work on the car. Next on the list is steering wheel, forward and rewind. So on my 2010 SS, this scrolling mechanism right here, when you flick it up, that should go to the next song. And then when you flick it back, that should rewind whenever you're playing a song. When I do it, it does not do that. So to resolve that, I do plan on putting Apple CarPlay in this car. There's a module you can buy that you just you have to take the stock radio off, pretty much take all this off, put the module in, and then connect it, and you can let it rest in the glove box. It's like $679, and that'll give you Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I have an iPhone, so all I really need is Apple CarPlay. But these buttons, they work, but obviously nav, I don't use. Destination, RPT, not really sure what that is, but the Seek buttons, they don't do anything. So if I put Apple CarPlay on this screen, I'll be able to, touch forward, rewind, all that stuff, and it'll pretty much make it a lot easier to drive. Right now, I put my phone on a phone mount, and it works for right now, but I'd prefer to have Apple CarPlay. So that's pretty much the resolution on that. But that's like something way down the line I can film later on. Next on the list is body. Dent on the hood, faded grills, rear diffuser, and headlights. So I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed this in the videos, but the carbon fiber, it's so weird. It does not look bad on camera. I mean, you can kind of see it on camera, but in person, you can tell the carbon it has sort of a green haze to it. So this carbon is definitely going to need a buff and polish. There's also these white speckles on it. So I want to get this car detailed. Specifically, I want to get the carbon detailed. And I know you've noticed, there's no way you don't notice it, but the fading on these grills. The top grill is not as bad. So I'm probably not going to replace the top grill. I can probably get away with doing a very light wet sand. I don't think it needs a repaint, but it needs something to look a little bit better. But this bottom grill is pretty much cooked. So I already bought a new bottom grill. It was 80 bucks on Rock Auto, so that's super nice. Also, if you haven't noticed, the fog light is, it doesn't look like it's broken, but you can see it's not in the housing that it should be. So when I get the new grill for the bottom grill, I'm gonna replace it with the new one. And I'm also gonna try and see if I can fix that light, because that just looks bad. I also bought new headlights. So if you watched my SS videos, you already know what headlights I bought. So I'm actually gonna try to restore these headlights and then sell them on Marketplace or something. So if you have an SS and you don't have the halos and you want a pair of ZL1 headlights, just let me know. I'll sell it to you for a pretty good price. OEM headlights go for a pretty good amount of money, but I am willing to sell it for, pretty much what I paid for the headlights that I bought. There's also this, you can see it, there's a dent on the hood. It's really not that bad. That can come out. Also, if you look at the side mirrors, the paint is super battered on here. So it's gonna need a respray, but if you watch the videos, you guys know I repaint most of my cars. The only car that I did not repaint was Sylvia, the 2017 SS, and that was because that car sucked, and I knew that I wasn't going to keep that car for much longer. I also plan on replacing the ZL1 stock rear spoiler with a Anderson Composites carbon fiber one, mostly because I want to take it off, clean under it. You can see it's a little dirty. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a little dirty under there. And also this cushion felt piece is just, I don't know, it's like stuck there. So I'm gonna have to take the spoiler off and then do some magic with that, but that'll be in the future when I get more carbon pieces for the car. And rear diffuser. So if you look at the rear diffuser, again, very much faded, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I want to do the 2014 2015 rear end conversion on this car. I think it looks super good, and I'm not a huge fan of these taillights, so I can keep them, but like, because they look good either way. But if I can run some 2014 2015 taillights, I think that would be much better. And I love how the 2014 2015 rear diffuser looks. I think it looks so sick. And then I actually would prefer to have a 2014 plus ZL1, but of course I found this one for a super good deal, so I couldn't pass it up. But yeah, let me know if you guys have seen any 2014 plus conversions on a 5th gen Camaro. I think it's super cool. I know Auto Addict USA, they have a couple videos converting some 2010 to 2013 Camaros to the 2014 plus rear end. Super sick. Okay, fueling, E85 tune. So since we popped the hood, I mentioned this when I first bought the car, but this car has a DSX flex fuel sensor, but I have not put E85 in this car since I bought it because I don't know what the previous owner exactly did to the car. That's why I do have a dyno tune scheduled, and I'm gonna see what this car makes on 93 and what it makes on flex fuel. So that should be fun. And then once I get the car tuned, I can, you know, put E85 in it and know that the car is safe to run that kind of fuel, because I really do not want to mess anything up. I know the car has bigger injectors. It looks like stock fuel rail just from what I can see. Let me look at that product number over there. It doesn't look like GM, but I know that there are bigger injectors in this vehicle. I'm pretty sure they're ID 850s because that's the recommended if you're gonna run flex fuel. I mean, obviously like ID 1050s are the best, but I'm pretty sure the mechanic at the dealership told me ID 850. You know, it's really hard to tell. Like, I don't know if the Supercharger is a reinforced brick. I know it has a cam. I can't really tell if the heads were redone or if these are bigger heads. You could, like, it looks stock to me, but I don't really know. But yeah, so I need a E85 tune on this car desperately because I've never ran E85 on a car. I'd really like to and see how much power this thing makes. I'm really hoping for like between 650 and 700 because that would be the fastest car I've ever had, and it would be pretty fun if I can get some guys together. We can go roll racing or whatever. I mean, it's still a 4,200 pound car, so I think like 700, between 700 and 750 wheel is good for the amount of weight that this car has. We'll see about that, but yeah, E85 coming soon. Last item on the list is the Supercharger whine. So this could also be because when I drive, the exhaust is right next to the window. I don't really hear that much Supercharger. I heard you can hear the Supercharger whine under a tunnel, and then if I'm like stepping on the throttle a lot, but this intake does not give me the whine that I need from the car. So I do plan on replacing the intake and the throttle body with a bigger throttle body and a Rotofab big gulp intake. I've seen a lot of reviews that the Rotofab increases the sound of the Supercharger wine a lot, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm heavily considering taking this car back to Race Proven Motorsports down in Delaware because I don't think I can run a Nick Williams 102 on this stock Supercharger snout. So if I have to get the snout ported, I wouldn't mind doing that because apparently it adds like 30 or 40 rear wheel horsepower or whatever. We have a lot of mods that we can do to this car, but before I do any of that, I really want to take care of everything on this list because most of this stuff is routine maintenance. So throughout the life of this car on this channel, I'm going to be changing a lot of things, fixing a lot of things, and just making it more streetable instead of a drag track monster. And then, of course, I'll add some touches to it, carbon, a splitter, a new spoiler, new wheels. You guys already saw the wheels in the last video, so definitely. But I do have a dyno tune scheduled for next week, so I have to prep the car for the dyno. But that video is after this video, and I'm going to film that today. It is beautiful outside. Oh my goodness. It is beautiful outside. Wow. But yeah, I have a lot to do. Busy weekend. You can really see let me see if you can get a close-up on the carbon. Look at the haze. The haze of the carbon, the scratches on it, looks super bad. It's almost embarrassing, honestly, but it's a work in progress. This car is definitely a work in progress. It's a big project, and it's also my daily driver, so I want to get this stuff done pretty quickly. I already have parts on order. I have everything that I need tool-wise, and yeah, I'm gonna finish this video, edit it, and then also finish the second video for the dyno prep. Next week, we're going to see how much power this car makes, so you guys stay tuned. Don't forget to save those manuals. Don't forget to love yourselves, protect your peace. Let's get a close-up. And yeah. Also, when I first bought this car, I thought the ZL1 shifter would be really stubby, but it's actually really good. Another thing that I forgot to mention was my key. So I only have one key. Dealership only gave me this one key and no key fob. So I actually ordered a key fob on this website. It's called Keyless Remote USA or something like that. So I'm gonna get a key fob programmed to this car. It was like 20 bucks. Like I said, man, I have bought a couple parts already for this car. So even the subtle changes that I'm going to do are gonna make the car look really good. So, or at least drive better. So once I finally get a key fob, I'll be able to lock, unlock, you know, from a distance instead of having to, you know, open the car and then turn the car on before the alarm goes off. It's super annoying, honestly. But let me know what you guys think about the 2014 conversion for the rear end. Should I do it? How difficult is it? Can I do it in the parking lot? So just let me know how you feel about all the upcoming mods and maintenance that I have to do on this car. And let me know. All right? Have a good night.